Immaculate Constellation. Introduction. This document is the result of a multi-year, internal investigation into the subjects of unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, technologies of unknown origin, TUO, and non-human intelligence, NHI. This investigation was undertaken in response to urgent and credible threats to the public good and safety of the United States of America, and provided to Congress through the UAP whistleblower mechanisms established by the FY23 National Defense Authorization Act and the FY23 National Intelligence Authorization Act. The data consulted during this investigation, and summarized in this report, originate from non-public data held within the executive branch of the United States government, USG. The author obtained access to this information while pursuing their lawful duties as an employee of the Department of Defense. This public version of the author's report was reviewed and approved for public release by the Department of State, Bureau of Global Public Affairs. The results of this investigation are deeply disturbing. Elements of the U.S. executive branch have conspired to prevent the U.S. legislative branch from exercising its lawful powers of government with respect to the UAP, TUO, and NHI issues. The information provided by the author strongly suggests that the U.S. executive branch has been managing UAP NEI issues without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for some time, quite possibly decades. This criminal conspiracy keeps the elected government of the United States and its citizens ignorant to profound discoveries and dire threats originating from the existence of UAP, NHI, and their technologies. Unambiguous evidence demonstrating the reality of UAP, NHI, and TUO has been made available to Congress by multiple, independent UAP whistleblowers. This document is but one item of evidence brought to Congress. Much more exists and hopefully will be made available. In this public version of the report, information is organized into 7 categories of evidence, including an Unacknowledged Special Access Program, UAPs, Imagery Intelligence, Human Intelligence, HUMINT, Signals Intelligence, SIGINT, USG Bureaucratic Records, USG Historical Records, and other sensitive sources. All information in this report is derived from access to non-public information. Section 1. Unacknowledged Special Access Program, Immaculate Constellation. Immaculate Constellation is an Unacknowledged Special Access Program, UAP, established following the public disclosure of the AATIP/AAWSAP programs by Luis Elizondo in 2017. Upon disclosure to Congress, it was determined that this UAP and its collateral information have not been lawfully reported to Congress. Immaculate Constellation's primary mission is collecting imagery intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and AAWSAP reproduction vehicles, utilizing tasked and untasked U.S. military intelligence resources. As part of a network of SAPs linked to non-human intelligence, NHI, and UAP technologies, Immaculate Constellation acts as a nexus for collecting, analyzing, and disseminating intelligence on the activities, capabilities, and locations of anomalous aerospace threats that originate from foreign or unidentified sources. The intelligence within the Immaculate Constellation program primarily consists of high-quality imagery intelligence, IMINT, and collateral measurement and signatures intelligence, MASINT, of UAPs and AAWSAPs within Earth's atmosphere. The collection platforms involved are a blend of tasked and untasked capabilities in low Earth orbit, LEO, the upper atmosphere, military and civilian aviation altitudes, and maritime environments. Immaculate Constellation pays particular attention to anomalous aerospace platforms that have been developed through the study or acquisition of technologies of unknown origin by foreign nations or unknown entities. UAP and AAWSAP signatures and preferred operating areas are known to the program, enabling a degree of strategic awareness and warning. Finally, Immaculate Constellation shows that UAP and AAWSAPs are operating around the globe, often in close proximity to sensitive foreign assets and locations. The categorization of Immaculate Constellation as a parent UAP, with various child ASAPs under its umbrella, indicates a high level of compartmentalization and secrecy. In effect, Immaculate Constellation serves as a central or parent UAP that consolidates observations of UAP and AAW activities detected by tasked and untasked collection platforms. Sophisticated internal information security controls are a major part of the Immaculate Constellation program. which enforces compartmentalization by detecting, quarantining, and transferring UAP and RV imagery collection incidents before they are circulated within the military intelligence enterprise. In conclusion, Immaculate Constellation shows that the USG is not only aware of UAPs and TUO, but also foreign state efforts to replicate UAP and TUO capabilities. The data within Immaculate Constellation reveals the capacity of the US Armed Services and military intelligence community to detect, track, identify, and engage anomalous transmedium platforms. Immaculate Constellation also demonstrates the extant capability to detect, quarantine, and transfer UAP and RV collection incidents before they are observed and circulated within the military intelligence enterprise, partially explaining why many otherwise cleared members of the military and IC are unaware of UAP activities. Finally, the existence of Immaculate Constellation provides verifiable evidence of the witting participation by elements of the U.S. Armed Services, Defense Civil Service, and the intelligence community in a global surveillance and reconnaissance mission tasked with monitoring UAPs and ARVs. Section 2, U.S. Imagery Intelligence. The USG maintains imagery intelligence, IMINT, databases accessible to personnel with appropriate security clearances and mission need. These databases are scattered across various organizations and services, leading to a fragmented ownership structure. This dispersion complicates the timely and comprehensive gathering of IMINT related to unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs. Control over access to these datasets primarily reside with the military intelligence enterprise, the combatant commands, the armed services, and individual program managers. In Dopacom intelligence vessels positioned to collect on reproduction vehicle, on USG networks, there exists infrared footage of an imagery of a grouping of vessels engaged in SIGINT and Mason collection at night in a specific area of the Pacific Ocean. In this footage, which was in close proximity to the vessels, a large equilateral triangle UAP suddenly appears directly over the ships. 3 bright points are seen at each bottom corner of the UAP, which is observed to slowly rotate on its horizontal axis. This rotation partially reveals a horizontal bar of sweeping lights. Intelligence analysis associated with this event specifies that the equilateral triangle is a reproduction vehicle, RV, and concludes that the vessels must have been aware of the RV's frequent use of those coordinates, due to foreign pre-positioning of advanced collection assets at the exact time and place. After a brief period of hovering and slowly rotating approximately 500–1000 meters above the ocean, the RV suddenly disappears, and the footage ends. In Dopacom equilateral triangle UAP tails unwitting vessel, on USG networks, there exists infrared footage of an equilateral triangle UAP, approximately fighter jet sized, hovering less than 200 meters above a vessel, in the night at a location in the Pacific. Intelligence analysis associated with this event specifies that the equilateral triangle is an ARV/RV of unknown origin. The vessel gives no signs that it is aware of the ARV/RV maintaining altitude and bearing directly overhead. 2 lights on the underside of the ARV/RV are visible, while a third is blocked from view due to a slightly upward angle of orientation. In Dopacom large disk using clouds as concealment, on USG networks there exists appear footage of a large saucer-shaped UAP emerging from within a dense cloud formation. The saucer registered black hot against white cold, with atmospheric disturbances caused by the saucer-shaped UAP visible. The saucer was between 200 to 400 meters in circumference and displayed symmetrical concavities on the upper surface. The saucer-shaped UAP emerges at a shallow angle traveling upwards towards the outer atmosphere. After breaking above the cloud cover, the saucer-shaped UAP suddenly reverses its direction, descending partially back into the cloud cover, then accelerating rapidly out of frame and partially obscured by the cloud tops. This behavior was evasive in nature and implied that the saucer-shaped UAP had become aware that it was under observation by a space-based collection platform. In Dopacom boomerang UAP observed by pilot and sensor suite, on USG networks there exists FLIR footage of a swept boomerang UAP maneuvering at an uncertain altitude at a location off the eastern coast of a country. The UAP is tracked against clouds by the sensor suite of the operating craft. The UAP is observed rapidly decelerating to a stationary hover, followed by the sudden emission of a sphere of light from the junction of the wing switch expands to partially engulf the craft in a rotating sphere of light, at which point the available footage ends. Northcom Jellyfish UAP crosses US-Mexico border. On USG networks, there exists FLIR footage of an irregularly shaped UAP flying across the southern border. The UAP appeared in FLIR to be mottled as irregularly with hot-cold emissions and approximated a jellyfish or floating brain with hanging appendages in appearance. The UAP flew against the wind with no visible means of propulsion, maintained an unnatural rigidity in its movements and flight path, and maintained a comparatively low altitude to geographic features. In appearance and behavior, footage of this UAP violating the airspace of the southern border resembled the same class of UAPs observed near DoD facilities in Iraq and Afghanistan. There exists at least one compilation video of this class of UAP, sourced from DoD Force Protection Assets and Theater ISR, which uses this footage as a point of comparison. Northcom Supersonic Range Fowlers intercepts USN fighter. On USG networks, there exists FLIR footage and radar data of a supersonic UAP of uncertain characteristics conducting a head-on intercept of a USN fighter operating off the eastern seaboard. The UAP is observed emerging from a cloud bank at high speed and approaching the USN aircraft head-on, rapidly passing over the left side of the cockpit. Radar data from this approach tracks the UAP on its approach towards the craft, providing information on speed, heading, and elevation. Southcom Tic-Tac detected by space asset in proximity of vessel. On USG networks, there exists OPIR imagery and masent of a Tic-Tac UAP transiting through an area of the Atlantic Ocean. The Tic-Tac maneuvers at an altitude at or near local cloud cover, and correlated electromagnetic signatures were collected by masent. In the available footage, the Tic-Tac UAP transits rapidly through the field of regard as it transits the ocean. No observed reaction is seen to come from the vessel, but its proximity in time and space to the trajectory of this UAP suggests foreknowledge of the UAP event by intelligence. Section 3. Defense Human Intelligence Reporting. The USG maintains a database of intelligence collected by military personnel across a plethora of topics, including UAP. These individual reports are considered raw because they have not undergone evaluation, corroboration, or contextualization into a finished analytical product by military intelligence community analysts. A significant volume of reports documenting first-hand encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, or unidentified flying objects, UFOs, by DoD personnel exists within defense human databases. Many of these UAP reports are filed by military aviators and pilots, as well as service members trained in foreign military intelligence collection activities, and often include photographic evidence and sensor data. When aggregated, these reports reveal significant information on UAP. This section is directly informed by reviewing over 400 defense human reports on encounters with UAPs and UFOs by USG personnel spanning from 1991 to 2022. It must be noted that this dataset is not exhaustive. Other human data sources exist which are omitted from this analysis. The defense human dataset summarized here highlights notable trends in the reporting stream and are presented here along with specific examples.